What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, and that's the one, the only. He's back. It's Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Savage. Scott, welcome back there, dude.
Yeah, a little bit of a change of scenery, change it up a bit. We had to get something new. So I like it. Shake it up.
We're shaking things up over here. How is the recovery after the 24-hour live stream?
Oh, it was a little rough for the next day. I was denied my ability to sleep due to some renovations and stuff, so I was just awake for, I think, almost 40 hours total. It got really hazy, but that's some of the best sleep I've had in a long time.
Dude, do you see Nate? So Nate posted in Slack he got 18 hours of sleep. I was just like, man, you almost slept a whole day. That's insane.
That would feel good, but I get too hungry after 2 hours.
Man, I don't know if I could do that. That's a ton of time to be sleeping. I went to bed shortly after noon, I think, and got up at 6. So I got a few hours sleep and then back up, and I stayed up playing. Dude, I went right back into playing more games until about 11:30.
I was thinking about trying some coffee. For those unfamiliar, I don't drink coffee. I just drink a lot of pop. But this day I only had lemonade. So
there we go.
I made it work, but
we're waiting for that Jeff Keighley Mountain Dew sponsorship.
That's right. Dude. I can take a whole page of dialogue.
Oh man, dude, coming up on today's show, it's good to have you back. Activision Blizzard, the saga continues. Oh man, welcome back, Scott, to this mess. Xbox controller updates, more Splitgate to come, it seems, and Xbox has new rounds of issues, and League of Legends changes up some rules. Dude, you ready to get going?
Yes, there's some interesting things on here that I'm looking forward to talking about.
That's good, because
one that I'm not looking forward to talking about.
I know. Let's get it out of the way. Activision Blizzard now under SEC investigation, according to a Wall Street Journal report. The saga, Scott, continues. Wall Street Journal reports an investigation is underway through the SEC. This federal agency, known as the Securities and Exchange Commission, is looking into Call of Duty and World of Warcraft publisher and has ordered subpoenas to high-ranking executives. Get ready. Here we go. The SEC has launched a wide-ranging investigation into Activision Blizzard, Inc., including how the video game publishing giant handled employees' allegations of sexual misconduct and workplace discrimination. The subpoenas mentioned above have been issued to, you ready? The CEO, Bobby Kotick, and other senior executives at the company. Yo, they went straight to the top, dude. The SEC has supposedly...
I have two feelings about that, actually.
Okay.
You have to go to who is responsible. And I forget what president said it, but the buck stops here. And in this case, it's the CEO. And
sure,
they have to do some due diligence, but... you have to it's such a difficult area because who was helping, who wasn't. If these people were covering for other people, that's just part of the problem. Yeah. So no doubt they have to go down this line of investigation, but oh wow, are they activating some serious warrants here?
Absolutely, man. They went right to Bobby. And I wonder how much Bobby actually knows. And I'm not saying he gets off scot-free whatsoever, but when you're up so high, sometimes you're up so high that your head is above the water and you don't understand what's below the water. If you follow me, you know what I mean? Like I worked for somebody before who said they know exactly what's going on, and I'll be honest, they didn't have a clue. They didn't have the slightest idea what was going on because they weren't there, right? And I kind of wonder if it's that somewhat of the same situation, because you think everything's going well, and all of a sudden you realize, whoop, there goes the rug, and everything's swept out from underneath you, and your whole world just comes crumbling down, right? And I wonder if that's the situation Bobby's in, or was he involved in all this stuff and kind of maybe he's the one that swept it under the rug. I don't know, but like, you know what I mean? Like there are two sides, maybe even three sides to this. I'm curious where that is, but yeah, they went straight to the top, went with Bobby, and then from there they're starting to go down the list, right? The SEC has supposedly asked for minutes from Activision board meetings since 2019. Personnel files of 6 former employees and separation agreements the company has reached this year with staffers. That's on top of communications between Kotick and his executive team members regarding the complaints of sexual harassment and discrimination by Activision employees or contractors. So it sounds like he knew all about this, Scott.
It does, certainly. It makes sense to go after his communications, but if they're really trying to dig there, it definitely implies that these people are involved.
Yeah, absolutely. According to the report, Activision spokesperson Helene Kolaski has stated the company is cooperating with the SEC investigation. If anything, this is an additional set of eyes on the issue with Activision Blizzard, centering on pay disputes and sexual harassment accusations, has the power to make some sweeping cultural changes within the company. Dude, like you and I were talking about this off screen, because like their stocks right now got to be plummeting. Like, who wants to be involved in this company? A lot of people now, I think, at this point, put their hands up and go, I'm walking away from Call of Duty this year. I don't even want to play Call of Duty this year. And people are leaving. Like, I'm sure a lot of people are on that fence. To me, Vanguard looked really cool. I'm not much of a Call of Duty fan, but I am in for the campaign. You and I would always cover the campaign for the show, and then we leave the multiplayer to Corey and Nate. We talk about it all the time. This is what we do here. That's just the structure of us, because we're more focused on that aspect than the Call of Duty multiplayer side of things. And
yeah, I feel like it's rare for us too. There's not too many people that really appreciate the campaigns, but you and I do a lot more.
Yeah, absolutely. And this one really had my interest because it's a sniper, which I love sniping, and it's stealthy, which I am a huge stealth player. And you are the same thing. You and I are the same way with this, right? So we've been looking for a stealth game, and you could, as of late, I guess the closest thing we have right now is Deathloop, and that can be played either way. So even then, right, we're looking for that next, what's next in the world of stealth for us to get into. And Vanguard looked like that was a way. And then you get in the multiplayer side. Well, then Brad and I just covered yesterday that is littered with hackers. There's cheaters all over that thing, and it's just the beta. Game's not even out. The beta got, just full of cheaters. It's absolutely sad and pathetic. But to get back into what's going on here, they went straight to the top. This deal at the top. This cut the head off the snake, right? Kind of thing, and see what we can find in there, and we'll hopefully get some clarity as to what's going on, and maybe they can clean up this company that should have been really at the peak of their existence and flying, but instead it's been a cultural disaster over there, and the company needs to be restructured by the sounds of things.
Well, let's just hope that this huge magnifying glass brought to the occasion and this dissection of the company, I hope that it reveals that things were handled when they were brought up, or there was some sort of effort. Maybe it wasn't quite sufficient,
Sure.
but I hope that it kind of clears the name of some of the people that are not involved, because you don't want that stain on everybody's permanent record when they go to jump ship to a new company. If they weren't truly guilty, that would be quite a hindrance to everything.
Well, and that's also the thing you and I were talking about off screen again, Scott, is the fact that, do you support the game or not support the game? Because one part of you wants to support the artists, those who are creating the game, working hard to make a great game. But then at the same time, you're supporting Activision Blizzard, right? So you're supporting the problem. And so it's kind of one of those things. What do you want to do, right? But I think a lot of people, for the overall, to be honest, aren't really into the depths that we are following within Activision. And we'll just look to buy the next Call of Duty.
Yeah, well, and if anything, it'll have a small effect on some people where it's a controversial topic now. So now I really want it. There's some people out there. But...
Yeah, there is that side of it too, right? But dude, let's get into the next one, because isn't this one an interesting little take? Well, the world of 1047 games, Splitgate is only 25% complete, says the developer. No way. Now, in light, though, Scott, I think things have changed as of recently, and we'll get into that. Let's get going. Splitgate creator Ian Prue of the developer 1047 Games has explained that the Portal-infused PvP game has only about 25% complete, despite being one of the most popular games on Steam, and its developer attracting a whopping $100 million in investment over the past few months. Splitgate is still only in its infancy. A new interview with 1047 Games has revealed. I think they were further along in production, thinking that they were maybe 75% when they went into early access, and this $100 million put them right back to 25%, because now it opened up other opportunities, right?
Yeah, well, I think this is now the first title of an IP that's kicking off, really. It was that much bank behind a game that is finding its place. I think this is a good news event, really. And I have a funny little thought about this. If it's only 25% complete,
Yeah.
Does that mean it's going to come with a campaign and firefight mode?
Right, kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? Yeah, in an interview with TechCrunch and with some comments to GamesBeat, game creator Ian Prue explained where the studio wants to take the game in the future now that it's broken through the mainstream. Quote, the scope of what we can do is now through the roof, Prue explains. Quote, there's so much we couldn't think about because we were a tiny team with a tiny budget. But now everything is on the table. We're focusing on the long term. I look at the game as being 25% done. We don't need to be Fortnite tomorrow, but now it really is about building the next Riot Games, the next big game business. End quote.
Okay.
Dude, he's going for the top. The guy's shooting for the stars, and I love it. I love that enthusiasm to go, you know what, we were small, but we're no longer small. But they're not going to be like Fortnite, obviously. That's what he says right here, right? They're not going to be Fortnite. Yeah.
Well, it kind of makes me think, like, how do you think Naughty Dog started? Do you think they kind of found they tapped oil in the backyard and then they just blew up? Or do you think it was that enthusiasm that kind of drove them to find the right mix? I think this is a good news because that enthusiasm is something that I feel like has been dampened in the last few years.
I think
a lot of good titles coming out, but it just seems like the machines are rolling.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like we were talking to Jamhammer Games. Like, man, it's been a while since I've been talking to Rob and whatever, right? But it was nice to have those guys on the stream with us just the other day. And Rob said, I asked the guys a question, like, what do you say to inspiring game designers? And the first comment was, do it because you love it, not because you want to get rich, right? That's the thing. And I think that's what the guys at Splitgate did as well over at 1047 Games, is they did it because they found something they like to do, and then all of a sudden it took off. And now that with that opportunity brings upon other opportunities, right? I don't know if they'll ever be the Fortnite giant that Fortnite is now, but their goal is to be like Riot Games, right? Where they're League of Legends and they're going strong years after years after years, which is a great model to go for and a great company to follow. And the fact that they're doing extremely well and they're still alive to this date, and they're crushing it. League of Legends is the biggest MOBA around. You can't deny that, right? And they're just nonstop. And it's funny because they're actually in the dock today, which was somebody we don't talk about very often here, but they're around too. But it's nice to see that that's where he goes. He also says, quote, no one has moved the needle because there hasn't been a lot of innovation and there hasn't been something that's accessible to the masses. Prude notes, quote, Quake Arena is great, but it's extremely difficult. No 12-year-old Fortnite kid is going to play it. We really do fill that void. So
12-year-old Fortnite kid. I think it's been determined that the average gamer in general is a middle-aged woman. And I think that's especially true in Fortnite, just to shake up what your stereotype is.
Yeah, sure. It's I get what he's saying though, right? Like he's not gonna have somebody who's hardcore need to really figure, like Quake Arena, dude, that's a fast-paced shooter, without a doubt, right? Where Fortnite, yeah, very old school. Where Fortnite though is focused on the younger generation, and he feels that they kind of fit the void in the middle. Which I think they honestly, I think they do too, because for us, we played the other day on stream. Dude, you can pick that game up, play a couple rounds, have a great time, then bail out. And you can come back to it weeks later, the day after, 2 days after, whatever the scenario might be, right? But you don't have to be in. If you're playing Quake, dude, you're in Quake Arena every day grinding that out so you can make sure you get the proper headshots, or you get into CSGO, right? Where you need to be grinding and practicing and being on top of your game, where this kind of fits the bill of in between both of those things. You want to take it serious? You can absolutely go with Splitgate and go hardcore, get into the ranks and and climb in those ranks. But if you were more the casual side like I am, that it's nothing to bounce in, you know, pop a couple heads and you get 18 kills that game, have a great game, then you move on to the next thing. So I think it's really cool what they're doing. They also announced, Scott, we talked about it last week, Forge mode is coming.
Is it called Forge mode?
Yes, I'm pretty sure it is.
This is getting almost offensive now.
I know.
If they add a needler, I don't know if I'm in or if I'm out, but something's going to happen.
Dude,
I have to make a decision.
I wonder, I'd like to talk to 343 at this point and go, guys, what do you think of Splitgate? Right? Because obviously 1047 Games, huge fan of Halo, because when you jump in, everything seems like it's Halo, right? It just feels like Halo. It looks like Halo. Everything is just kind of got that touch. And then they call some of the same weapons the same thing, the game modes. And now we're getting into Forge mode, which is Man, like it makes me, yeah, it does make me scratch my head a little bit. Can you just
I've made this joke, I think last time we were talking about it. If they ever add a vehicle to the game, it's either going to
it's gonna be
be
a warthog.
a warthog or a mongoose.
It's got to be a warthog. They're gonna have this massive level and they're gonna call it a warthog. Here it is. You can put it in your forge mode. It's it does make you scratch my
come
head.
out with a battle royale.
Oh man. Oh, it's well, maybe, I don't know. The sky's the limit now, he said, right? So we'll see what happens. But let's speaking of Xbox controllers' new double tap feature will make it easier to switch between devices. Dude, this has everything to do with now that the cloud is available for Xbox.
Oh yes, that makes sense.
Absolutely. Soon, more Xbox controllers will make use of the double tap feature to switch between devices using the pair button. This feature was previously available on Xbox Series X and S controllers. As demonstrated by James Shield, Senior Product Planner at Xbox, the ability to switch devices easier is coming via an update to the Xbox One controllers with Bluetooth, Elite Series 2, and the adaptive controller. Double tapping the button will make it easier to switch between devices such as console, PC, and mobile. So that's cool to see because, yeah, like I said, it's going to the cloud. So now when you just pick up and you go and continue on to the next one, right? Pretty sweet.
Yeah, you don't have to kind of resync or just bring a different controller entirely. I like that ability. And it's not just for us. I say us because I believe you have 2 Xboxes. I have 3, actually.
I have 2.
This is actually quite a useful thing, especially with my brother playing now, and we move different locations. This is just kind of one of those quality of life improvements.
Well, it's funny because we were playing tonight, right? And my oldest is like, "Well, what am I supposed to play on?" And I'm like, "Dude, just tap into my iPad and you can play on Xbox. Like it's that simple now, right?
Yeah.
Like it's you can literally play anywhere. So it's really
got a Retina display. It's great.
Yeah, it's fantastic, man. So that's one step forward for Xbox and one step backwards for Apex, because Apex Legends servers to stay borked for a bit. Oh, like who says that? What is?
It's strange, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right? Apex Legend players have been having a miserable time as of late when the game's not being hacked by disgruntled Titanfall players. Players sometimes devolve into having enormous fights over controversial in-game strategies such as strafing. Really? Man, the latest...
It's kind of, remember in Siege when people do this to avoid all the gunfire? I think it's stuff like that. It's just
really, The latest grief to befall them is a whole new raft of connection issues, this time likely caused by a recent patch and unlikely to be fixed until later this week. Respawn has confirmed that a new crop of disconnections are plaguing the game, 3 times as many as they would usually see. But rather than being something they expected to fix straight away, they're saying it's going to remain a problem until September 22nd. So at this point, it's only another day away, but still weird to hear, right? So over on a Twitter post, Apex posted, despite improvements today, we're still seeing roughly 3 times the normal rate of disconnect errors in play Apex, and a full return to normal may take until our next planned patch on September 22nd. So another patch is in the works, and that's hopefully will fix the issue.
That just hurts at this point because they've had so many issues now, just time and time again, and it's not exactly their fault.
Sure,
you could argue maybe the the Titanfall players had a genuine beef.
Yeah.
But this one's caused by internal damage, that some self-harm, and that's not what they need.
It's unfortunate too, because what's happened as of recently too, Scott, is that fact that a lot of people left Call of Duty and gone to Apex because of the hacks and all the stuff over in Call of Duty. And now Apex is just kind of hurting themselves right now because they're bringing in an influx of players, new players, returning players, old players, everything there. And they're still having 3 times the disconnect issue is a major problem, man. Nobody wants to play that.
No. I've had issue connecting to Battlefield 1, and it caused me just to put the game down. That's going to happen for a lot of people getting into that battle royale. It's going to happen more likely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Scott, we talked about it at the top of the show. Dude, League of Legends will now discipline AFK players more harshly. I like this because I'm a big fan of it. sorting this problem out, because it is a problem, right? League of Legends players, particularly those who regularly leave their keyboards or an in-progress game, are about to get a harsh sentencing as specified by an update headed to the popular MOBA. Developer Riot Games outlined the issue with AFK players called leavers, a segment of gaming population that regularly leave or outright surrender a game. The studio said that while new tools have helped alleviate the frequency of which most go AFK, some 9% of League of Legends players worldwide still unabashedly engage in consistent AFK behavior. Dude, we get this
consistent. Like, what is wrong with these people?
Like, if you don't want to play the game, then don't play the game. Like, why are you just sitting there or doing nothing? Dude, it happens to us all the time in Siege. Like, we talk about it all the time. Right? It drives us nuts, right? Because all of a sudden you go in ranked and you see my rank decline. Like, dude, I almost hit gold last season, and because people disconnecting, we're now a person down, and that takes a huge effect on your overall game. And like, you now have to pick up the weight of losing that player. And dude, I've just slowly been declining, and it's just irritating. It's really irritating. So hopefully they can sort this out and get this fixed as soon as possible. But yeah, it's nice to see they're doing something. But Scott, dude, it's already getting that time in the show. Why don't we get into game announcements and updates for today?
Well, we have an interesting one for one of the games that we've been kind of bouncing in and out of. This is the Sea of Thieves Season 4 will begin on Thursday. Now, that's interesting to see. There is a lot of content updates, and there's one of note, Siren treasuries full of loot that players must do battle for. Okay, so they're changing up the map a little bit. They're adding these kind of mer people into the lore of the game. And that's cool. It follows on the heels of the pirate adventure that was kind of a little more fantastical. I like this way that they're going because I don't know enough about piracy to know if they're being accurate.
Well, so it kind of makes me, after going with the Jack Sparrow DLC, like, where do you go from there, right? And I think now it's going to kind of teeter off a little bit because that came in at such a high. And now they're trying to still utilize some of those characters and then somewhat that atmosphere, but now bring it underneath the ocean too. So we'll see how it does. Definitely there is like a huge community over there for Sea of Thieves though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we also have some full-time releases. Woo-hoo. That being another one that piqued our interest.
Oh,
Kena, Bridge of Spirits. And that is available on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and PC. Hey, a crossover. I like that.
Dude, I want this game so bad. Like it is like a Pixar video game to me. Like I can't wait to play this one.
Oh yeah, no, it looks like a fantastical kind of Pixar. I think that's perfectly accurate. I like it though. I'm tired of all the games being brown and black and just hazardous. I like this better. But we also have Sheltered 2, that's the sequel on PC.
Very cool.
World War Z, I suppose. World War Z. We'll keep it Canadian. Aftermath coming to the PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, X and S, and PC.
Dude, so I had a discussion the other day with Crystal, and I'm gonna go off topic here. Z is, I thought, Canadian because we actually asked Google and they said Z is American. Really? Yeah, Z is American. So there's a little dropping some knowledge today. I'm almost positive if my memory serves me right, because we actually had to ask Google, because I'm like, I pronounce it Z and I think she pronounced it Z, and we're like, which way? So Z is Canadian, Z is American, but Z is also accepted by Canadians. So
that is so strange because I thought that was Canadian for sure. But then again, I'm not gonna trust the Americans to tell me what English words are.
So yeah, we'll see, dude. That's a good list of games today. Kena, Bridge of Spirits, though, definitely the highlight for me. Sheltered, I played Sheltered 1, so Sheltered 2, I saw that come out of nowhere for some reason. I somehow it flew under my radar, which is surprising, but I want to see it come over to the consoles. Right now it's coming on PC, but it's definitely cool. And World War Z Aftermath, we played World War Z as a Let's Play not too long ago. I say not too long ago, dude. I bet you it was like a year ago.
I was gonna say that may have been 2 years ago.
It may have been a while ago, but
we did have some fun with that. That was kind of a change up to the normal. It's not Call of Duty Zombies. friends, that's for sure.
No, that's for sure, buddy. It was a good time. But either way, Scott, that's going to wrap up today's show. Everybody, this has been ITG Daily. Thank you for joining us. You can always follow me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28. You can follow Scott at Savage. You can always follow the official ITG on Twitter as well. Until tomorrow, everybody, we'll see you inside the game.